All right, everyone. I think we're going to go ahead and get started now. Thank you again for dialing into our Ask the Expert, Understanding Your CTA Pension. All lines will be muted for the remainder of the presentation, and we will have a question and answer portion of the presentation at the end, where we encourage you to type your questions in for our presenter. With today being the last day of April, it marks both the close of Financial Literacy Month and an important reminder of how essential it is to stay informed about your financial future. And there's no better time to focus on a topic that's on everyone's mind, your pension. Pension stress is very real and often becomes more significant as retirement approaches. Financial Literacy Month encourages us all to build knowledge and confidence around important financial decisions, and understanding your pension is a critical part of that journey. Today, we are joined by our CTA pension team to discuss the CTA pension and address any questions or concerns you may have, helping you take informed step toward a more secure retirement. Our presenter today is Angel Trevino. She is the senior benefits representative for the retirement plan for CTA, where she has served since 2013. In her role, she helps oversee the administration of pension benefits and provides guidance to plan participants and their families. She is part of a dedicated team of 12 professionals who together manage retirement benefits, disability allowances, survivor and death benefits, refunds of contributions, and other related services. The pension team handles pension-related inquiries for approximately 11,000 active employees and nearly 9,000 retirees. Direct contact information will be provided at the end of the presentation for those interested in scheduling a one-on-one phone call or an in-person appointment. Thank you for joining us today, Angel, and I'll go ahead and transfer control over to you.
Thanks, Dakota. Can you see my screen all right?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Give me one moment. Add share. One second, please. Go ahead and Dakota, do you know what might be the issue here?
Looks like you're sharing the WebEx screen itself. There you go. Now we can see your PowerPoint.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. This is the first time I'm controlling the slides, so thanks for your patience. I'll go ahead and put us in a little bit of a better view here. Okay, apologize.
Angel, on the bottom right of that window there, yeah, you should be able to access it from the icon on the left. I should say slideshow.
On the left?
Yeah, so right where your mouse is, right back where it was, excuse me, next to that like zoom bar, right near the minus of that zoom bar, you'll see a little icon that says slideshow. Or fit to window, I think both work.
Fit to window, yeah, I'm trying to use fit to window. Zoom. This was working earlier. Apologize, guys. Okay. Let's I am still having trouble here. I'm so sorry.
Nope. No worries. Do you want me to take control, Angel?
Yeah, please, if you wouldn't mind.
All right, perfect. If you can go ahead and cancel your screen sharing, I'll get mine started for you.
Thank you.
All right, Angel, you just let me know when you want me to move forward.
Okay, will do. Thanks so much, Dakota. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join me here today. I'd like to extend a big thank you to the wellness team for having me. My name is Angel Trevino. I'm the Senior Benefits Rep for the Retirement Plan for CTA employees. Today, we're going to go over some key information regarding the retirement plan and the Retiree Healthcare Trust. My goal here today is to allow our CTA employees to gain a better understanding of the pension and healthcare benefits that are available to them. I'll outline the requirements that are needed for benefits and when benefits can be earned. We'll discuss other options that you might not be aware of. At the end, I'll give an opportunity for those listening to ask questions. So if you think of a question during the presentation, please go ahead and write it down, and I'll do my very best to answer them afterwards. So whether you're approaching retirement or still years away, this seminar is designed to provide valuable insights to help you make informed decisions about your future. So let's get started with a brief overview of the retirement plan history. Next slide, please. All right. The retirement plan for Chicago Transit Authority, which I will refer to throughout this presentation as the plan, was established in 1949 and was initially negotiated for members of ATU Local 241 and Local 308. On October 1st, 1952, the Chicago Motor Coach Company was purchased by the CTA, and employees of the Chicago Motor Coach Company were added to the plan on January 1st, 1953. The purpose of the plan is to provide retirement benefits for eligible employees of the CTA. The plan is a defined benefit plan, which means that the plan pays a fixed periodic payment every month to those participants who qualify. It is calculated based on factors such as age, salary, and years of service. Contributions to the plan and earnings on plan investments are held in trust for exclusive benefits of plan participants. On the next slide, we'll look into who is eligible to participate in the plan. Next slide, please, Dakota. All right, so who are eligible retirement plan participants? In general, you become eligible to participate in the retirement plan once you reach 12 months of continuous full-time service. In today's presentation, we're going to be discussing the various types of retirement options that will become available to you with plan participation over time. Options for retirement depend on when an employee was first hired. So let's take a look at the eligibility chart on the next slide. After becoming a plan participant, the minimum age and service years needed in order to qualify for benefits will depend on when you were first hired. On your left, you'll notice the words normal retirement. What is normal retirement? Normal retirement is a retirement that takes place on or after an employee has reached their 65th birthday. There are three major benefits to retiring after age 65. First, there are no early retirement penalties applied regardless of years of service. Second, for an employee 65 or older, there is no minimum number of years required in order to retire. And third, if you retire after age 65, medical premiums are significantly lower due to Medicare eligibility. Now, I understand that not everybody wants to work until they're age 65. Thankfully, each tier has two retirement options to choose from. There is an unreduced pension option and a reduced pension option. Let's examine the chart on the right. By the way, this chart is also included on the front page of the retirement plan statements that are mailed out annually. If you did not receive one, please go ahead and give us a call and we will get one out to you. So if we look at the chart on the right, those employees that were first hired on or before September 5th, 2001 are eligible for an unreduced pension at any age as long as they retire on or after completing 25 years of continuous pension service. An employee hired under that same time frame would also be eligible for a reduced pension after age 55 upon completion of at least 3 years of continuous service. The penalty, however, for retiring under the terms of a reduced pension is 5% for each year under 65. If an employee hired under this time frame decided to retire at age 55 with 3 years, but they had less than 25 years of pension service, the penalty would be 50%, or 5% for each of the 10 years under age 65 that they were at the time of retirement. That penalty would remain in place for the remainder of that retiree's lifetime. Now, I've mentioned the term continuous service a few times up to this point, so let's take a closer look at what constitutes continuous service on the next slide. Continuous service generally refers to the length of time that an employee has worked for the CTA without any significant breaks in employment. Continuous pension service is calculated from the date an employee first began contributing to the plan until the date of their retirement or separation. For those hired on or after May 16, 1980, participation in the plan begins after 12 months of full-time service. For those hired before May 16, 1980, why are you still working? No, just kidding. For those hired before May 16, 1980, participation began at the time that they entered full-time service. So those dates were the same. Part-time employees do not participate in the retirement plan. The current employee contribution percentage is 13.795%, while CTA contributes double that, 27.59%. Continuous service includes the following: authorized leave of absence for up to 3 years, layoff or furlough not exceeding 3 years, and time spent in the armed forces up to 4 years. Termination followed by reinstatement within 3 years is also considered continuous service. Let's take a look on the next slide, where we will discuss disability pension benefits. Unlike regular retirement, a disability pension benefit is not penalized based on age or years of service. There is no minimum age requirement in order to apply for benefits, and there is also no minimum age or number of years required in order to enroll in the health insurance offered through the plan. So basically, if you qualify for disability pension, you will qualify for the health insurance. Eligibility requirement for disability allowance are as follows. If you're disabled due to a non-occupational accident or illness, you must have at least 10 years of continuous pension service. And if you're disabled due to an occupational accident or illness, you must have at least 5 years of continuous pension service. You must be unable to return to work in your regular employment with the authority, and you must have first completed either 26 weeks of short-term disability or 26 weeks of workman's compensation prior to applying for disability pension. There's one more retirement option that I would like to share with you today, and that is the option to take a deferred vested pension. This option is not for everyone, but it's definitely worth taking a look at. Let's go to the next slide. The first question asks, what happens if an employee leaves employment at the authority after they've completed 10 or more years of continuous service? If you're a CTA employee and you become separated after having contributed to the plan for at least 10 years, but you don't meet the requirements for an early retirement, you will have the option to take a deferred vested pension. This deferred vested pension is a monthly pension that begins on the first of the month after you've reached the age of 65. The pension would be calculated using the average and years of service that you had at the time that your employment was terminated. The vested pension is also a good option for those that do meet the requirements for an early reduced pension, but would rather delay their pension until the age of 65 in order to avoid that early retirement penalty. Alternatively, if an employee may take a refund of contributions if he or she waives their future pension benefits earned under that service. The second question asks, what happens if an employee leaves the authority before they've completed 10 years of continuous service? If an employee leaves the authority with less than 10 years of pension service, that employee can receive a refund of pension contributions with interest at the time that they separate from service. The refund can be made directly to the former participant or rolled over into a tax advantage plan. An employee will never receive a refund for the portion of contributions that were made on behalf of the authority. Next slide, please. This says, do I have an option regarding participation in the retirement plan? And the answer is, it depends. Employees not represented by any union, meaning exempt, non-bargain for employees, may opt out of the plan before or after they begin contributing to the plan. All other employees must participate. Until recently, the action of opting out of the plan was permanent. Today, those who have opted out in the past will have a one-time opportunity to opt back in. The time prior to opting back in will not be considered when calculating future pension benefits. Opting out of the pension a second time will be a permanent action. A refund of contributions will be available and paid out to those who opt out. Again, we're not carrying that service into your future pension benefits if you opt back in. So if you opt back into the pension and it turns out you have a remaining balance of previous pension contributions, those contributions will be refunded to you prior to your opt-in date. If you are someone who is interested in opting back into the pension, or if you'd like more information on this topic, please feel free to contact our office. Next slide, please. Now we enter the healthcare portion of our presentation. I know that several of you have questions regarding the healthcare and the retiree healthcare trusts, so a bit about its origin. In January of 2008, legislation was passed by the Illinois General Assembly that authorized the establishment of the Retiree Healthcare Trust, also referred to as the RHCT. The primary responsibility of the RHCT is to provide and administer healthcare benefits for CTA retirees, their dependents, and survivors. All active employees of the CTA, whether you're full-time, part-time, temporary, union, non-union, must contribute to the Retirement Healthcare Trust. The current contribution rate is 1% of your gross earnings. This amount can change based on the funded status of the RHCT. Contributions made to the Retiree Healthcare Trust are intended to reduce the cost of your monthly healthcare premiums when you're in retirement. Next slide, please. What are the age and service requirements to be eligible for healthcare benefits from the Retirement Healthcare Trust? If you look at the chart, you'll see the term eligibility credits. Eligibility credits are used to determine eligibility for retirement healthcare coverage. They are calculated by using your credited service from the date of hire plus continuous service with CTA from 1/18/2008 thereafter. And depending on your age and years of service, you may or may not be eligible to enroll in the healthcare coverage at the time that you retire. For those under the age of 65, you must have 20 or more years of eligibility service, but at least 55 years of age in order to enroll into the plan's insurance at the start of your retirement. If you retire at 65, you may enroll in the plan's health insurance if you have at least 10 years of eligibility service. If you retire under the age of 65, but you have at least 10 years of eligibility service at the time that you retired, you may enroll in the plan's insurance beginning at age 65. So if you retired with more than 25 years of service, but you were under the age of 55 at the time that you began receiving your pension benefits, you will be able to enroll yourself and your family on the health insurance after reaching your 55th birthday. You'll have a 1-month time frame to do so. And if you had less than 10 years of eligibility credits, you will not qualify for health insurance at any point throughout your retirement. Those who are not eligible for healthcare coverage from the Retirement Healthcare Trust will be eligible for reimbursement of their healthcare contributions via the Healthcare Reimbursement Account, or HRA, starting at age 65. Enrollees in the HRA will receive a debit card to be used on medical expenses until their Retirement Healthcare Trust contributions have been exhausted. The HRA debit card is also available to those who do qualify for insurance through the plan, but feel that the debit card is a better option for them. Next slide, please. How are monthly healthcare premiums set for retirees and dependents? The Board of Trustees of the Retiree Healthcare Trust determine what the premiums will be from year to year. They are responsible for creating a plan design and setting the premiums for retirees, dependents, and surviving spouses. Because the board negotiates on behalf of such a large group of retirees, prices offered through the retirement plan often come in at a lower cost than an individual might find on the outside of a plan. Participation in the plan's insurance is optional. Next slide, please. What kind of health insurance is available to eligible pensioners? The CTA Retiree Healthcare Trust includes medical, prescription drug, dental coverage for CTA retirees, disabled pensioners, as well as their surviving spouses. I know a lot of people have questions regarding the vision. There is an annual eye exam included with both Aetna and the Humana. There is also a credit and discount program offered as well. Currently, the RHCT provides access to Aetna POS2 plan or PPO and the Aetna Select Plan HMO for those not yet eligible for Medicare. Once a pensioner or their dependents become Medicare eligible, the Retiree Healthcare Trust provides access to Humana Medicare Advantage Plan. Humana offers Medicare Advantage PPO or HMO options. Minimum age and service requirements must be met in order for a retiree to become eligible to participate in the plan's insurance. An eligible retiree may enroll in the insurance at the point of retirement or during open enrollment, and also during certain qualifying events. For those considering retirement who are currently Medicare eligible or have Medicare eligible dependents, you are encouraged to reach out to the pension office a few months prior to your projected retirement date so that we can help you provide you information on signing up for Medicare Part B in advance of your retirement. Next slide, please. What will my monthly premium for healthcare coverage be? There are several factors that will determine what your monthly premium will be. Those factors are the amount of healthcare trust premium service credit that you have at the point of retirement, the medical plan that you elect, as in the HMO or PPO, and the coverage level that you elect, such as the individual plan just for yourself or your family. Medicare eligibility for you and your dependents also will heavily change that pricing. For hourly employees, retirement healthcare trust premium service is calculated by using your credited service with the retirement plan up until 1/17/2008 plus total hours worked after 1/18/2008 divided by 2080. You will also see that we send an annual retirement healthcare trust statement by mail. Please do look out for that in the next few weeks. Salaried employees, your healthcare trust premium service is calculated by using your credited service with the retirement plan through 1/17/2008 plus your continuous service after 1/18/2008 until the end of your employment. Next slide, please. Am I eligible for HRA or RHCT healthcare coverage? As we discussed earlier, you must meet the minimum required age and eligibility service in order to enroll in the plan's health insurance as a regular retiree. At the end of your career, you may have a choice between the healthcare reimbursement account and the retirement healthcare trust healthcare coverage. You cannot enroll in both the healthcare reimbursement account and the healthcare coverage offered through the RHCT. If you elect to take the healthcare coverage, the contributions that you made to the RHCT will be used to offset the cost of your monthly healthcare premiums. If you enroll in the healthcare reimbursement account, you'll be provided a debit card linked to an account which holds the balance of your retirement healthcare contributions, and your reimbursement account can be used to pay for medical expenses for yourself and your eligible dependents, as long as that account holds a balance. A little bit more on this topic on the next slide. You are eligible for the HRA at 65, even if you're not eligible for a pension. If you've opted out of the CTA pension or received a refund of your pension contributions, you are only eligible for the HRA. You may be eligible for immediate healthcare coverage if you receive a disability allowance, regardless of age. And certain part-time or temporary employees who do not meet the requirements for a pension may be eligible for healthcare coverage. Next slide, please. For more information on all topics that were discussed today, please feel free to log on to our website, www.ctaretirement.org. There you'll find some of our most frequently asked questions and answers, our current healthcare guidebook, which goes into detail on the insurance that's offered to our retirees, and even a pension estimate calculator. Contact our office. You can either call 312-441-0454, or you can email help@ctapension.com. I'm also very happy to announce that this year we launched a brand new member self-service portal. Retirees have already received their registration letters, and active employees will be receiving registration information in May. This is the first time the retirement plan has launched a member self-service site. So we are starting slowly, and most of the information is going to be view only at first. We still encourage you to call or email us if you need to make updates to your beneficiaries, or if you need to opt in or opt out, for example. For active employees, you are still encouraged to update your contact details and spouse information directly with CTA. We do depend on that information from CTA, and they should have that information first. So in addition to our website, the MSS portal is going to be an excellent tool to help you keep track of your progress with your pension and healthcare benefits. Really excited about that. Next slide, please. If you'd prefer to reach out directly to a team member, please go ahead and feel free to take a screenshot of this contact screen. If you have specific questions regarding retirement, disability, making a change to a beneficiary, making a repayment of pension contributions, or opting in, opting out, you're welcome to contact one of our team members. Okay. As we conclude today's presentation, I'll leave you with this. A career can be measured in years, but a retirement is defined by how thoughtfully those years were prepared for. Too often, people work tirelessly toward a finish line that they have not fully mapped out. Retirement is not simply an end. It's a transition into a new chapter that deserves just as much attention as the one that came before it. You have a very strong foundation here, something meaningful that you can build on. Take time to plan with purpose. Ask questions. Seek clarity. The decisions you make today will shape the opportunities you have tomorrow. We're here as a resource and a partner in that process, ready to support you in getting and achieving your retirement goals. Thank you for investing your time with me today. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at this time.
I'm gonna just go ahead and stop sharing my screen just for a second so I can view the chat from everybody. Looks like we do have some questions here, Angel, so I'll go ahead and I'll just read them as they came in. Let's go backwards here. So from the side about RHCT, ages 55 to 64, with 10 to 19 years, it says, eligible at age 65 if retired, not eligible for health coverage. Can you share more about what that group is and is not eligible for?
So we're talking about the group age 55 to 64?
Yes, with 10 to 19 years. 10 to 19 years.
So yes, because you're age 65 and under age 65 and you don't have the minimum required 20 years of eligibility service, you will not qualify for healthcare benefits at the start of your retirement, but because that minimum requirement drops to 10 years, you will qualify once you reach age 65. So if you did leave CTA prior to 65, but you were at least 55 with 19 years, for example, there will be no healthcare benefits extended to you until you reach 65, and you'll be able to enroll after that point. That will be a qualifying event allowing you 30 days to enroll at that point, or you can wait until open enrollment. Also, that group is always offered the HRA, but that also must start at 65.
Awesome. Will says, thank you. Another question here, do insurance prices drop after 30 years of service or 30 pension years?
Well, it depends. If this person is an hourly employee it's very likely that they might have, let's say, 30 years of pension service, but depending on how much overtime they work or any missed time, they might have more or less in their healthcare trust premium service. Basically, healthcare trust premium service is what drives the cost of those premiums. Salaried employee, you're basically going to base it on your pension service, and hourly employees, it's going to be based on your hours worked. But those premiums do change every 5 years. So there is a 15 to 20 year category, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, and which each premium bracket that you enter, the more service that you give CTA, the less your premium will be. So the answer is your premiums drop with every one of those 5-year milestones. And if you're an hourly employee, you are encouraged to reach out because you might be in the 30-year bracket with 28 or 29 years of pension service. Or if you've missed time, it's also important for you to check where you're at, because when you are not actively working and you're an hourly employee, your healthcare trust premium service does freeze in place. And if they wanted access to those premium charts, you can definitely find them in our 2026 Healthcare Enrollment Guide, which is right in the front of our website, available to you. And you could also call one of our pension reps and we can go over this in detail.
So another question we have here is, is it possible to have regular Medicare and the CTA Humana Medicare Advantage?
So when you retire, or let's say you retire and you become Medicare eligible, you will need Medicare Part A and B. There's no way around it. If you turn 65 and you're not retired yet, you don't have to worry about signing up for Medicare Part B. But if you're planning your retirement and you already have Medicare A, which is perfectly normal, you will need to make sure that you have Medicare Part B on time for your retirement. That Medicare Part B date will need to be the same date that you retire. From that point, A, B, and the retirement insurance offered through Humana will be all of the coverage that you need. I think B is 80%, and then we offer through Humana an additional 10% of coverage with the prescription plan. The Humana Medicare Advantage plan does not allow you to enroll in any other Medicare option or outside health insurance. So if you do plan to take insurance with us, it's going to have to be A, B, and then this insurance.
Excellent. And then a follow-up question to that is, when will the health insurance kick in after retirement? For example, if I retire at the end of April 2026.
If you're already age 55 and eligible, meaning you have 20 years of eligibility service, or if you're age 65 with 10 years of eligibility service, your health insurance starts on the day that you retire.
Perfect. And then we have another question saying, what does retire mean exactly? Does it mean leave CTA or does it mean apply for retirement benefits?
Well, you have to apply for benefits to start by a certain date. Retirement takes place on the 1st of each month. And if you qualify for retirement, it's going to be your choice between taking that monthly benefit or a lump sum of your refund contributions. At the time that you separate, if you qualify for a pension, I would highly encourage you to reach out and find out what your monthly benefit is. And then you would need to apply for that retirement at least by the 14th of the month prior. So for example, my June 1st retirees need to contact and come in and apply in person by May 14th in order to be retired on the 1st of the month. Again, I do encourage you to reach out if you're unsure about where you're going to become eligible for retirement, or to reach out in advance 2 or 3 months if you're already 65 or have a family member that is Medicare eligible.
Awesome. Next question here is, I have 5 years of active military service. I joined the CTA a few years after I got out of the military. Can I still get credit for those 5 years of military service?
That's a really good question. And right now we are actually talking about this topic with our plan attorney. If that person wants to email me directly, I'm happy to follow up with them. You can reach me at atrevino@ctapension.com.
Excellent. I'll put that in the chat for everybody too. Next question here is, if you opt out, what time frame do you have to opt back in as a non-union employee?
You have no time frame whatsoever, but know that when you opt back in, your pension service starts from that day forward.
Excellent. Here we go. Next one is, if you opt out of the pension, what happens to the funds that are still sent to HCT?
The retirement healthcare trust cannot be opted out from, so as long as you're continuing to work, you will have to continue to pay towards the healthcare trust. You will be given a refund of your pension contributions at the time that you opt out. Currently, you will not be given a refund of your retirement healthcare trust, and you will continue to contribute to it until you separate from service.
Next question here is, what is the monetary difference for insurance costs before and after you reach 30 years of pension service?
It depends on certain factors, such as how old are you? Are you already Medicare eligible? Do you have a spouse? Does that spouse have Medicare eligibility? Again, I do encourage you to look at the Retirement Healthcare Trust Guide, but let's just say that you're an individual who needs healthcare insurance just for themselves and you're under 65. The full coverage insurance drops from $145 a month, that's the 25 to 30 year bracket, to $58 a month. The family insurance drops from $806 a month for 25 to 30 to $546 for 30 to 35.
So our next question here is, I'm paying $880 for pre-tax when I'm only depositing $161 into my 457B. Can we opt out of the pre-tax and just pay post-tax whenever we withdraw funds?
I'm not sure if this is directly related to your 457. If that is the case, the pension does not handle 457 contributions.
There we go. Next question, is that new portal online now?
Technically, yes, but if you're an active employee, you don't have access yet. Letters are going out within, I believe, the next 3 to 4 weeks to those who are actively employed with at least 1 year of full-time service, so our plan participants. And they will be given registration numbers, and they'll also be, along with that registration letter, given a quick start guide that will walk you through how to access the portal.
Awesome. And then our next question here is, as a bus operator, can I opt out of the union so that I can opt out of the pension?
You can opt out of the union, but you cannot opt out of the pension. Because you're still a bargain for employee and your union membership does not, it's not tied into that, you would still be bargained for. You cannot opt out of the pension.
Next question we have here is, what are the current monthly premium rates?
If you'd like, if you go to www.retirementplan.org, you can see those premiums in our 2026 healthcare guidebook. And there are a couple of different scenarios. You know, there's individual non-Medicare, family Medicare, family non-Medicare, Medicare individual, Medicare family, and then there's the combined. So it's going to depend on what your personal situation is. And that is, I think, right smack on the front of our website. I'm going to the website now. All right.
Next question here is
CTAretirement.org. It's in the middle, upper middle of the very first page, landing page, 2026 RHCT enrollment guide, and scroll to page roughly 22 or so.
Awesome. Next question here is, I'll have 26 years and I'm over the age of 55. How can I reduce my taxes?
How can you reduce your taxes? Not sure. When you come in to retire, you designate how you want your tax set up. You know, basically you can give us a single designation, married, exemptions, but not really, certain factors go into the calculation of your taxable portion of your pension. If you take a surviving spouse option, for example, you'll pay less in federal tax. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what steps you can take to reduce your federal tax. Your tax is going to be based on your marital status and the number of exemptions that you have. Federal tax is required of this pension. State tax is not if you reside in Illinois. So if you have more questions about that, you can talk to your tax preparer.
Excellent. Next question is, I've been here since December 17th, 2001. Can I leave after my 55th birthday whenever I choose, or do I have to wait until 65 if I miss that 55th cutoff?
As it stands, the hire date is what drives pension eligibility. So if this person was hired prior to September 5th, 2001, they would qualify based on age 55 with 3 years of continuous pension service.
Awesome. Next question we have here. I was off injured on duty and I'm behind almost 4 years of contributions to HCT. How can I pay back the missed time from being injured on duty?
Currently, there is no option to pay back missed contributions with the Retirement Healthcare Trust. What this individual can do is either factor in some overtime, which will close that gap, or they can plan their retirement and retire at a later date so that their Retirement Healthcare Trust premium service can catch up to their desired level of premium service.
Let's see. Next question we have is, I worked 4 years prior to becoming full-time permanent. Has anyone been able to petition for that recovery of their years worked prior to becoming full-time permanent?
As far as I'm aware, no, your participation begins 1 year full-time. I am not aware of any option to buy back time or petition for that time to be counted.
Let's see. How does the plan work how does the plan work if you are bridging service from another city organization, for example, Chicago Public Schools?
Yeah, that's another, it depends, exactly what the terms of that pension are versus ours. This individual is also encouraged to email me directly.
Looks like one of the last questions we have here is, can you pay for years of contributions to retire early?
No, you cannot currently purchase pension service.
And then what other questions do we have? For anybody still here, if you guys have any other questions, or if I didn't get to your question, can you go ahead and just type it in the chat again? Just only because there is an essay in front of me of, of the chat log. I just want to make sure that I got everybody here. And then for everybody who has asked for access to the slides, so if you registered for today's seminar, you will receive a recording of the seminar. So we'll go ahead and get that and the materials over to you today or tomorrow. Another question we have here, what expenses can the debit card be used for? Only medical care expenses, or can it be used for premiums for a self-selected supplemental for Medicare?
Yeah, so you could use it on a wide variety of medical expenses, including point of service. Let's say you're picking up prescription costs, paying for an outside insurance. Again, if you take the debit card, you will not be able to take CTA's insurance. You can also use it as a reimbursement style account. So if you're paying for Medicare Part B, you can get reimbursed for your Part B expenses through that account. You can use this debit card on your dependents up until age 26. If you have a disabled dependent, you can use this debit card on that disabled dependent. And if you were legally married to a spouse for 1 year prior to your separation, you can use this debit card on your spouse as well. So yeah, a wide variety, medical, dental, vision. There's a full list. So if they want to email me, I can send the full list of what is covered.
Awesome. A couple more questions here. I opted out of the pension after 1 year of CTA service. Now I am back in the pension. Why doesn't the first year of CTA service count towards my future pension?
After May 16th, 1980, anyone who contributes to the pension has to wait the 1 year. If this person is questioning why that first year of service does not count towards their pension, it's because they opted out in the first place. So I think about 3 or 4 years ago, if you opted out, we would hold your contributions until you separated from service. There was no option to opt back in. Now we're allowing you to opt back in, but with the understanding that if you have any contributions in that fund, you're going to be paid out for them. They cannot be counted towards future service. And so for that reason, that 1 year cannot count. And if this person hasn't collected their refund of contributions yet, they are encouraged to do so.
Excellent here. Are there any information/documents regarding pension enrollment and such information for someone that is brand new to the agency?
Yeah, on your 1 year anniversary, I don't know if they have 1 year yet, but they're given a welcome letter with a plan summary book. They are given access to the site, as in our website. And if they have questions, they're welcome to contact us. We do have a lot of question and answers and facts on the retirement plan website. They're also always encouraged to reach out. Even though it might be a little early, we can definitely provide them with the basics. We can probably even run a future dated estimate for them.
Let's see. Next question here is, with NITA starting soon, will that affect the pension in any way?
I don't have any information on that right now. I would assume that if anything, were to come down the pipeline that does affect the pension, we'll notify our participants.
Will the pension reach back beyond the last 10 years to boost your average?
Yeah, that's a good question. So at the point that you come in to retire, typically when you're on the phone with us getting a quote, we will look into your entire pension service history. And if we find a high year that falls outside of the last 10 years, we will most definitely allow you to use that year in the calculation of your pension average. You do have to sign a 1-page form stating that you'd like to use that year in the retirement process, and that year is also presented to the board. The substitution information is provided to the board per the plan rules, but yes, you can.
Excellent. Next question here is, what has more coverage, the CTA insurance or HRCT?
Not sure exactly what they mean there. CTA's healthcare coverage is a monthly, it is a month-to-month healthcare that is, it comes with 90% coverage in either the Aetna or, with the case of Humanas, it's a Medicare Advantage plan. It is continuous. It will be offered to you as long as you would like to have it. It's for a lifetime. If you use the Retirement Healthcare Trust debit card, you will only have access to the funds that you have in there, and those funds will run out eventually. So I would say that if you're going to look at it from a standpoint of, okay, well, I have this insurance offered through CTA at a discount for the rest of my life, or I could take this debit card and I could pay for a premium outside of CTA. I would think that, provided you have a long, healthy life, you're going to be looking at a advantage to taking the lifetime coverage versus that monetary benefit that is going to dwindle down to zero.
Let's see. Will the 0.0215% multiplier ever increase?
There's nothing that I've heard about that changing, but if history provides anything, it's that yes, it can change, but as of right now, I've heard nothing from the board stating that they are looking to change that percentage.
If I started April 2001, and my first early date for early retirement is April 2027, what penalties might I incur?
Well, if this person leaves with 25 years of pension service, meaning, yeah, it sounds like they would, and there is no early retirement penalty for them. 25 years of service is what you would need to avoid any early retirement penalties, and they would have that.
Excellent. Next question we have here, is the Aetna also an Advantage plan or a Plan B supplement?
No, the Aetna is a full coverage insurance offered to those under 65.
And it looks like that is the last question that I have. If there's any other questions or anything that came up from folks, please feel free to type it in the chat. We are approaching the top of the hour, so I know that some of you guys might have to move on to lunch or to the next thing. So if there's any other pressing questions, please feel free to type in here. Oh, if I retire with CTA insurance and decline RHCT, what happens with the money that I paid into HCT?
Yeah, so that those contributions that you made to the healthcare trust are meant to offset the cost of the insurance. For example, I believe the true cost of the insurance for one individual is around $1,400. If you retire with CTA with 25 to 30 years, your premium is $145. So you could think of it as we're taking the difference between the $1,400 and the $145 from your healthcare trust and covering that difference on your behalf for a certain amount of time. It's to lessen the burden on the fact that there are really high healthcare costs. And one day that your contribution to the healthcare trust will be depleted. But the nice thing about that is the premium that you have been locked into, that bracket, does not change. You will not have to pay for that full cost of the insurance. So it does offset the cost of your insurance for the rest of your life. And you will be asked to formally decline your HRA debit card.
All right, cool. Well, everyone, I just want to thank you so much for all your questions. Angel, I want to thank you for all the information you provided us today. It sounds like some folks have already reached out to you via email. And then as a reminder, we'll go ahead and we'll send the recording of this presentation today over to you guys. So I appreciate all of your patience and all of your questions, like I said, as we got through some of these today. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out either to Angel for all of your pension related questions, as well as myself. My name is Dakota, or any other wellness team members, wellness@transitchicago.com. And Angel, anything else you want to let everybody know before we close out today?
No, I just want to thank everyone for joining me here today. I know it's lunch hour. Looking forward to your questions and seeing everyone next year. Thank you, guys.
All right, awesome. Well, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day and have a beautiful and safe weekend.
Thank you, too.
Take care.